Yo, 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 yo. We are back. This is the Wizard Talk podcast, episode 2. I know it has been a fat minute. I know I said I was going to make 2 in a month at least. A lot of shit happened in my life. I'm not trying to get into personal shit, but pretty much I haven't been able to do one of these. That's simply said. But yeah, if you guys are watching on the screen, well, I guess you have to be watching on the screen. We got Oxygen versus Noble and Gears right now. This is not going to be about Oxygen. Oxygen is a huge up and comer. I did talk about Oxygen in my last podcast. So yeah, I mean that's a huge up and coming org. But on the opposite end, it's a Noble who are an absolute travesty. They're basically, let's just start off saying they no longer exist. Let's just say that. But Noble's been around for a long time. If you guys remember them or even recognize the name, they had a gold like knight logo looking to the left. That was their old logo, and they changed this little purple. This is knight looking forward with the purple thing. I think the logo looks terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I think the old logo was a lot better than this one, but it doesn't matter now. They don't even exist anymore. And what I mean by they don't exist anymore is they just had a lot of accusations put against them. So Noble Esports, a lot of people have been saying, oh, actually, there's been a ton of accusations about not paying their staff the due amounts that they're owed. A lot of people within the organization weren't getting paid what they were due. There's a lot of delay in payments. Even like, I don't know, a lot of people said it was one guy that caused a lot of it. And even the founder, the owner of Noble, made a statement basically discussing that a lot of the payments that were happening weren't even to his knowledge, that they weren't getting paid out. A lot of stuff was going through PayPal, which is not the greatest way to be running your professional organization. I mean, I can't lie. We do a lot of things through our PayPal, but we also do have a bank account registered to our LLC. So it is a little more official than just running it through PayPal. Noble also dishes out way more money than we do, or I guess doesn't dish out money, but are supposed to dish out way more money than we do. but, and so they've had all these accusations, and pretty much the entire organization went under. Every single Noble team left, and Noble's been involved in a lot of things. They're not just some org that default like involved themselves in smaller esports like Gears. Yeah, teams in Gears, teams in Valorant, teams in Overwatch, teams in Rocket League, teams in Fortnite, um, teams in Apex. Like they were all over the scene, and to see this kind of thing happen to an org that's that involved, and this is not they're not just involved like in minor, like they were competing against a lot of tier 1 teams, um, in a lot of these games. And for something like this to happen at that level where people aren't getting paid out, this isn't the first time we've seen it. We've even seen scummy stuff happen. There's an old, if you guys know what Lazarus is, the Canadian org that everyone's like, oh, this is the best Canadian org. They used to be called Set to Destroy. And if you ever heard the tag STDX, that was Set to Destroy. That was the same org as Lazarus. The owner, who's the same owner as Lazarus. Actually, I can't say, I don't know 100%, but that's what I think. I know it's the same management and the org just changed to that. But well, I don't know about the same management, but I know it's the same. The org basically just rebranded to Lazarus. Set to Destroy had the same situation. They were not paying out players. People were getting pissed off, and it ended up just being a disaster. And the org didn't, instead of shutting down, they just made themselves a new org to clear themselves from all payments, pretty much. That's pretty much what happened, and no one even says anything. Everyone just lets Lazarus exist now after that scummy history. So I don't know. And Noble definitely has himself in a bind here. I mean, it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of not. I mean, he was talking about how he's put so much work into this, and trust me, I know I've been working on esports org for years and years and years. Definitely not to the level of what Noble got to, but hopefully we'll get there. But to see an org that gets to that level, someone who puts so much effort in, Noble's been around for so long now. I think the first time I saw Noble was back in like Mortal Kombat 10. Like I don't even know when that was released. That was a while ago, and they're probably even existing before that. I just didn't hear about them. And to go out like this is really just not. It's just kind of because you got to think all of your hard work put in. People aren't gonna remember that. People are gonna be like, "Oh, remember Noble? This cool." Like they'll probably remember the teams, but the org, I don't know. The org will forever now just be remembered as that one org that wasn't paying out people, and people just forget all those years. I would separate the old Noble from the new Noble, the old Noble with the old logo. There's never any problems with that. I mean, a lot of their players actually came out and were saying the actual management, like a lot of the management was great. A lot of people were nice and friendly and actually did keep up with what they had to owe to the players. And it was just like one or two guys within the management that weren't being honest and weren't paying out what they needed to, and that just ended up breaking the whole org. So literally just last week this happened, or like a few days ago, honestly, and now every single Noble team is free agents. So that's pretty crazy news, especially for people that were trying to like commit to their esports career. Like, all right, I got this team, I'm trying to get my salary. It's like, oh, never mind, your contract's broken. Now you got to find another, maybe not another team, but another org for your team, and it's never a fun time. So definitely a rough one. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. There's a lot of controversy on it. If you want to know more, you can look it up. But yeah, unfortunate to see. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Noble. We will not be seeing Noble anymore, at least in the time being. I mean, they shut down their social media account for a while. The Twitter was down. They just brought it back up just so the owner could make a statement. Their website's gone, so they're pretty much it's chalked for Noble. But yeah, the more esports grows, I think the less and less we'll see this because there's a lot of leeway and scummy things you can pull off in esports because there's not a lot of oversight. If it's not a franchise league, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And like the only franchise leagues are COD League, Overwatch League, LCS is technically franchised, and I can't think of another one. But yeah, I mean it's just tragic this is still going on in esports to this day. I think we'll eventually get to the day. Well, it won't be completely gone, but it will be way less prevalent where there's way more money involved, and we can't just be not paying people out and paying things through PayPal. So I don't know. All right. Next thing I wanted to talk about is something that happened a little while ago. It is, hold up here. The SMITE World Championships. So I actually have never even played SMITE, but this is a big event for SMITE that happens every year. So I wanted to at least talk about it. Smite's still going strong. A lot of other high-res games are not going well. Um, I don't even remember what the battle royale is called. I don't know, whatever the battle royale was called died. It was basically just Paladins battle royale. Paladins is dead. Whatever high-res games even are there? I'm actually gonna look this up real quick. Because I've literally been to the high-res expo like 4 times at DreamHack. I still can't remember what their games are. Why can I not find this? Oh, it's not even relevant to the Smite World Championship. I was looking. Oh, Realm Royale. Oh, they made Rogue Company. Oh, never mind. Their games aren't dead. What am I talking about? Rogue Company's not like that alive, but it's definitely not dead. Definitely not dead. I didn't even realize they made Rogue Company. They made Rogue Company. Realm Royale was what it was called. They made some other games, but those aren't relevant. Like fucking what? Tribes Ascend. What even is that? I don't even know. But so yeah, Paladins dead, but Smite has been living. There's still such a super close knit community for Smite. These guys have been playing this game for so long, and from I've heard from old Smite players, because we did used to have a Smite team here at IlluZion. He was talking about like this, getting on these teams is so ridiculously hard because it's been the same. It's been basically pretty much the same guys for so long, and the meta's like evolved so much over time that new players like it would take an insane amount of effort to get to this level to make it to one of these teams of the world championship. So yeah, a lot of props go out to these guys. I know the quality of the videos are not good, but it's the only one I could find for the finals. But let's talk about what went down in the world championship. So, and you can see this is the grand finals of Tartarus Titans versus the Leviathans, the Atlantis Leviathans, and it's Tartarus. I don't know how to say it. I think it's just Tartarus. But yeah. So the Leviathans ended up taking the grand finals 3-0 to become the 2022 world champions. but they could see the path that it took them. They were in placement group A, so they didn't even automatically make the main event. They had to make their way through the qualifiers. They made it through placement group A, beating the Winter Dogs 3-0, then beating the Solar Scarabs 3-1. And the Solar Scarabs actually made it all the way to the semifinals, where the Tartarus Titans beat them to 3-1 to make it to the grand finals. So at least a good effort put by them. Tartarus Titans automatically were put through to the semifinals. They didn't even have to play in the groups. The Leviathans started in the quarterfinals after making it out of the groups through winning. And they took down the Olympus Bolts 3-0 and then took down the Camelot Kings 3-1 to make it to this point. And then they ended up winning the series 3-0. So congratulations to the Leviathans. But I'm super glad that SMITE's still going on. I never want to see any esports die. $400,000 prize pool for this. Pretty good for a game that actually the viewership was pretty good. I know this was a little bit ago. This was not super recent. This was in like December. So I mean, it's not like super recent, but I wanted to. Well, I think it ended in early January. So it's not that late, but yeah, I mean, I'm just glad to see Smite still going. 400,000. I've seen the Smite World Championship in person. I've seen the Paladins World Championship in person before Paladins got shut down. Um, I mean, I'm not too upset about Paladins getting shut down. I'm sorry, but it was literally like, I understand it was a lot different than Overwatch, but like it also was very similar to Overwatch, and I just think they did a lot of things worse than Overwatch. And I don't think that game deserved to be as relevant as it was when there was games like Bleeding Edge and Gigantic and Crucible releasing and not getting any player base. And I think those three games were all better. Well, at least Gigantic. I think Bleeding Edge and Crucible is definitely an argument. But Gigantic, I mean, I'll continue saying that almost in a lot of these podcasts that was one of the best games that never was. In my opinion, I think that was the best game that never was. And I'm gonna do a whole podcast on Gigantic, I think. Just because I was so involved in the community now, I'm probably just gonna do something like that at some point. But yeah, it's not about Gigantic, it's about Smite. I'm super happy to see Smite still going strong. I hope Smite keeps going. I don't know what happened to the orgs. I don't know if this is a like franchised thing because they all have these names like the Oni Warriors and like Elysium. I don't know. Valkyries, Valhalla Valkyries. I don't know. It looks franchised, but I can't tell if it's franchise or if they just didn't have any org support anymore. So it was just all the support comes from the company Hi-Rez themselves. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I'm gonna try to see a little bit more into Smite once they start playing again. I don't know when their next season would be, because this just happened last month, so it probably only happens on a yearly basis. But yeah, I don't know. Congratulations though to the Atlantis Leviathans for taking the World Championship. Huge win for them. Of course, any World Championship is. And let's move on to our next thing here. Move on to something I'm a lot more familiar with. We are gonna move on to some good old ALGS here. So it wasn't super recent. Like it was like 2 weeks ago, I think, something like that. Oh no, it was a while ago. It was like late January. It was not that long ago. The ALGS Split 1 playoffs took place in North America. I'm mostly gonna be focusing on North American esports on this podcast if you guys haven't known that already. But yeah, so ALGS playoffs took place. And TSM came out on top in a dominant fashion. Like literally dominant. After they switched out Snipe Down for Host, they were really good with Snipe Down. They were still one of the best teams, but right now they're just looking like the undisputed by far best once they added Verholst to the roster. And they played this tournament so well. Over 30 points more than second place NRG, which is ridiculous. Two first place finishes, 16 kills in their last game, 15 kills in their first game. That's just to get that amount of kills in a top tier playoffs lobby in the strongest region in the world, that's just ridiculous amount. That's ridiculous numbers. It is absolutely ridiculous numbers. So, full congrats to TSM. TSM played super well. I mean, top 10 teams was TSM, then NRG, and second Esports Arena, who had a really good season. Actually, Verhulst's old team, I think Noct replaced him. I could be wrong. Let me check. Yeah, Noct did replace him, the old C9 player, who got replaced by Aberlele. And then Sentinels finished fourth. Sentinels, a team that was struggling a lot early on. A lot when Sentinels, this team first formed and first got picked up by Sentinels, this team was struggling. And I'm glad to see they're starting to figure things out. Torrent, a newly sponsored team. Let me see who's on Torrent. Oh, it's Eurese's team. That's the old what were they called? They had like the deer logo. I'm not trying to disrespect this org, but they used to have they were on a different sponsor. Cloud9 in sixth. PGG, is that unsponsored? No, that's Premier. I think Premier is a sponsored team. I'm not sure. But yeah, Premier. That's actually a good placement for Premier. That's crazy. G2 in eighth, Renegades in ninth, and then W finishing 10th. I'm surprised W finished that high as well. A lot of teams that kind of there wasn't that many disappointments, but the humongous disappointment. 100 Thieves, the reigning NA ALGS champions, finishing dead last. Dead last. So 100 Thieves. I'm sorry, Nate Chat, but I mean, it just shows. And look at that. Noble is a champion. See, Noble also was in Apex. That team no longer exists, but go them. But yeah, 100 Thieves finishing dead last with only 11 total points and a total of 5 kills. 5 kills in 7 games. That is insanely bad. 5 kills in 7 games, and they were barely living. They finished 18th, 20th, 18th. Ninth was their best finish, then 17th, 18th, and 15th. That is a absolute travesty of a performance from 100 Thieves, and they're gonna have to figure something out if they want to get back to where they were with Kangarna. Oh, I thought he just stole that. Hal just going crazy this entire tournament. Absolutely ridiculous. He got the Apex Predator bonus, which is another $1,500. This tournament was for $250,000. So huge win for TSM there. TSM just showing up. They are the team to beat in NA now, and they've always kind of been the team to beat, but now more than ever to win the playoff finals by over 30 points is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I mean. Well, I'm really curious to see where this is going to go and how this is going to play out in the future seasons of ALGS because right now, G2, I mean, not G2, TSM looks unstoppable and I'm excited to watch it more. And I really, really, really want to see an in-person major for Apex sometime soon. Even just a regional, just like an NA major. I'm worldwide major. I would love to see that before the game loses its last legs. I really want to see before Apex Legends dies. I want to see a world championship with all the teams in the world competing on a LAN somewhere. That would be insane. I at least want to see an NA major offline again because this game has been competing online for forever. It feels like at this point. Like I wasn't even involved. I wasn't even paying attention to Apex Esports when they were playing them in offline events. So I don't know. I would love to see this game actually make it back to an offline standing, but right now it's all about TSM. TSM dominant with the number one streamer in Apex that is an actual Apex streamer, not kind of like Nick Mercs. Imperial Hal. Imperial Hal, I think, is still the best player in the game. I think Sweet's close to number two, but I think Hal is just kind of untouched right now. And then you have Reps, who's just been one of the most consistent players of all time. And then Verhulst, this young prodigy, just creates. You have the best player ever, one of the most consistent players ever, and then a young prodigy on your team. Like that's just championship like level team. Like that's just as simple as that. And they showed it there for sure. Um, yeah, excited for more ALGS events. I haven't been watching a lot of other regions. I'm actually kind of curious who won the European. Um, who won the European playoffs? Wait, has there not been the European playoffs yet? Am I tripping? I think I'm tweaking here. Oh, no, I was looking at split 2. That makes sense. Makes sense. Let me see, EU. Who won EU? New. Wait. Oh, New stole it from Alliance and Gambit. Who is this? New Esports? It's a Portugal team. Wow. Yeah, New basically stole it from Alliance, who had 116 points and couldn't find a win 10 games in. Holy. Alright. Enough about Apex. We are going to move on here. Let's talk about something that happened. Oh, something else that happened fairly recently. It is the RLCS X Games Open. This happened during the X Games, but I think it was an online tournament. I'm not sure. There might have been a few teams in person. Nope, looks like it was online. So yeah, I mean, obviously Rocket League, gigantic esport. So many fans of this game. I try to watch it sometimes. Like whenever it's on, I'm like, oh shit, there's 150,000 watching Rocket League right now. There's probably something going on. I try to tune in and just see what's happening. And it's usually pretty hype, especially LANs. I miss LANs so much for esports. Like just in this fans, like we got a little taste of it with the HCS Raleigh Major. That was like the first, and I'm so sad I couldn't go to that. I literally got scam tickets. I said that last time, but I'm still so mad that I didn't get to go to that because it's like that was the first like in-person major with fans that we've seen in so long, like 2 years, pretty much. Or at least that I've seen. And Rocket League is one of those games that's so hype with fans. I would love to see fans back. But yeah, the X Games Open, it was a exciting tournament. I'm assuming. I mean, I not gonna lie to you, I didn't watch it, but I can see the results here. NRG taking the grand finals 4-2 over Space Station. They had themselves quite a dominant run in their group. They went 3-0 against Vibrance, RBG Esports, and XSET. A really strong performance in their group stage, and then they moved on automatically to the upper semifinals with Oxygen version 1 and FaZe Clan. Oxygen and FaZe also went 3-0 in their groups. Then NRG 4-0'd Oxygen and FaZe 4-0'd version 1. This led up to a crazy battle between these two juggernaut teams. NRG, the general, and it's not just like not the general energy saying like, oh, it's just in general, like it's the general company. If you guys ever heard of the general, like that's just their sponsor. That's what a lot of esports teams are doing now. They're having sponsor names like TSM FTX, Dignitas QMT Pay. I think there's another LCS team that has one. I think Immortals has one. Um, Immortals Progressive, right? Am I tripping? I think it's Immortals Progressive. I might be crazy. And then General NRG. Yeah, NRG, just one of the best Rocket League teams of all time, if not the best Rocket League team of all time, like org all time. Super close game against FaZe Clan in the upper bracket final, as you see on the screen right now. 4-3 victory for NRG. Really, really close games. 2-1, 2-1, both in overtime in the first two maps. 3-2, then 2-1, 3-0 to FaZe. They started coming back strong. Then 2-1, 1-0. All super, super close games. 3-0 is the biggest gap, and that was for FaZe, who ended up losing the series. So insane stuff from them. And then FaZe will drop to losers bracket, where they face off against Space Station. Space Station made a run. Space Station was in Group C. They finished 2-1. They were in FaZe Clan's group. They beat Rogue and Torrent, and they started their run up against Sonics with a 3-1 victory. Then they played Shopify Rebels, 3-0. They played Oxygen, beat them 4-1. Then took down version 1, 4-0. Then they met FaZe Clan in the lower bracket finals, the losers finals. And they lost to FaZe on the group stage, and now they're trying to get their revenge here in the lower bracket finals against a team that just had an incredibly close series in the winners finals. And Space Station gets it done 4-2 over FaZe Clan. 3-0 first map, 5-4 overtime second map. They lose 0-1, beat them 1-0, lose 0-3, and then they still need one more game, 3-2 on Neo Tokyo. Another very close series here, but Space Station does come away with it. And they go on to the grand finals. And this is where they meet NRG. NRG being this insanely dominant force. It's a close series, but NRG does take it 4-2 to win the X Games Open Tournament. With 3-2 in the first map overtime. There's 3 overtimes in the grand finals. 3-2 first map NRG. 3-2 second map goes to SSG. 2-1 for NRG, and then a 1-0 overtime to NRG, and then they're already on series point here, up 3-1. Space Station stays alive with a 1-0 win on Wasteland, and then NRG shut them out to win the tournament 3-0 on Neo Tokyo. So congrats to NRG. NRG's still been insanely dominant. I mean, it's like it just speaks for themselves. So they finished first in their LCS North American Championship, first in the Spring NA Major, first in the Winter NA Major, first in the RLCS Season 8 Finals, first in the RLCS Season 8 North American Championship, first in RLCS Season 7 North America, first in RLCS Season 6 North America. It's just like, this team is ridiculous. NRG, one of the strongest teams in esports, just like in NRG Rocket League, just one of the most successful, one of the most dominant teams in all of esports, and the record just shows her, and they continuously keep winning, and they are basically the standard. If you want to win a championship, you've got to be NRG, and they keep winning. So I guess they get a gold medal. I think they do get an X Games gold medal for this, I would assume, because the X Games open. I actually was watching the X Games. I was watching like a snowboarding slopestyle thing because I was trying to watch it like before the Olympics, and they literally had like highlights of this, and I was like, what the fuck? They're showing Rocket League right now, and like ESPN or whatever it was on. I was hyped, but yeah. So NRG's still dominant in RLCS and Rocket League in general, and yeah, we'll see how that changes. Probably not gonna change, but see who can actually take them down in future majors. Got an ad. It's time to switch. All right. Last thing I wanted to talk about here was something I did talk about in the last one. It was the LCS lock-in tournament. I know we are already 2 days into LCS. We're actually starting week 2 now, and a lot of things have changed, but I did want to finish up with what I actually started up here last time. Let me close this. So yeah, what happened, what I expected didn't really happen. Kind of it did, but some surprising things. So obviously in the group stage, hold up, let me get to the group stage. Where is it? I have the brackets. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I found it. Okay. So in Group A, it was 100 Thieves and Cloud9 tied at 3-1 apiece. 100 Thieves was a team I said was going to be definitely the favorites. A lot of casters said they're going to be famous as the reigning LCS champions with their full roster coming back. And they did do solid in the group. They lost one game, surprisingly, to FlyQuest. They're having a problems with the weaker teams for sure. Cloud9 3-1, only loss was 200 Thieves. FlyQuest does make it in as well with a 2-2. Golden Guardians scrape by with a 1-3 record, beating TSM, which wins the tiebreaker because TSM did not get in with 1-3, but also TSM was repping mostly their academy roster, so you can't really blame them too much. There's a lot of academy players in Lock-In. Lock-In is just kind of a weird tournament in general. But Evil Geniuses 4-0 in their group, beating every single team. Team Liquid second 3-1. Their only loss was to EG. CLG 2-2. Dignitas 1-3. Immortals with an insanely rough start, 0-4. Not a single win for Immortals. They are not going to be in the lock-in bracket. Then we make it to the knockout stage. Knockout stage, we'll talk about the least exciting things to the most exciting things. EG, 2-0's Golden Guardians, kind of what you'd expect. Team Liquid, also 2-0's FlyQuest. And they make it both to the semifinals. Cloud9 gets a 2-1 for CLG. CLG did put up a fight in that second game, but Cloud9 ultimately closed it out. And the surprising thing that happened, the big story that happened in this first round, the quarterfinals and knockout stage, Dignitas 2-0s, 100 Thieves, the lock-in favorites. I think that's a team that no one really expected to do much. 2-0s, 100 Thieves full roster. Insane stuff from them. They move on to the semifinals. They can't keep it up. They get one game against TL, but TL does 3-1 them. EG continues to be absolutely dominant. 3-0 over C9, continuing the undefeated streak. And then, so at this point, EG is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are 9-0 so far in lock-ins, including their groups. They're going in against TL, a team that's already lost to them once. And TL says, we don't give a shit. And TL 3-0s EG to take the grand finals, to take the lock-in tournament. TL looks super, super strong. And that's how the season starts here. I can go ahead and look at the LCS spring standings as it starts so far. 100 Thieves already with a 2-0 start, making up for those losses in the lock-in. The disappointing start. They are 2-0. They do have a solid win over TL. They did beat CLG as well. Cloud9 also starting 2-0. They got their wins on Golden Guardians and Evil Genius, is a team that looked really strong in lock-in. Dignitas also starting 2-0. It is against Immortals and TSM, two of the weaker teams that we expect. A lot of question marks for TSM's roster still for me. I don't really know what to expect in the future for them. Maybe they'll develop to be a better team, but I don't think they're an LCS championship contender by any means, and much less a world competitor on the world stage. I mean, Dignitas, strong start for them. That team actually looks surprisingly good. FlyQuest, a 2-0 start for them over CLG and Golden Guardians. Dignitas and FlyQuest are looking like these teams that are gonna be the middle of the road teams. Those are they're looking like the two teams that can beat any team on any given day, and you can never sleep on those two teams. It looks like the top of the food chain is gonna be like 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Evil Geniuses, Team Liquid, and the middle ground is gonna be more this Dignitas, FlyQuest, and those are gonna be like the teams that are like you might see them in the playoffs. They might cause havoc. They might get these upset wins. They'll probably be the teams causing the most chaos for these teams that are really committing to try to win this split and make it to MSI. And they're definitely going to be I'm trying to think of the phrase for it, but they're definitely going to be the pain in the side of these teams. Evil Geniuses started 1-1. They did get that loss to C9, and Team Liquid also starting 1-1, got that loss to 100 Thieves. They did beat Immortals though, and the rest of the team starting 0-2, CLG, Golden Guardians, Immortals, TSM. Not a great start for those teams. I don't expect super high things from those teams, but yeah, TSM kind of the story. I mean, the roster's like it's just Huni and Spica, who are super strong, like super strong players. Huni and Spica are just super strong players. And then they have the new mid laner Kai duo, who actually looked pretty decent in their games. He wasn't the reason why they were losing. Tactical and Shenyi, not also not too bad. I didn't like Shenyi that much, but I just don't think this team stacks up to like the powerhouse rosters that these other teams are putting out, and they're gonna have to figure something out because starting off 0-2 is not the greatest start here, and they also didn't make it to the lock-in bracket. Immortals still looking for their first win. 0-4 in lock-ins and 0-2 in the LCS so far. 0-6 combined. Immortals, let's not have a Shanghai Dragon story. I mean, they're not, but yeah, Immortals still looking for their first win. But yeah, if I had to predict, I mean, this is super early, throwing out the window prediction. If I had to predict who's actually going to win LCS Spring, I would say right now, it's hard to decide. I think it could be Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Evil Geniuses. Any of those teams could win it. Like, it's honestly so up in the air right now. I don't see. I don't know. I actually don't know. I can't make a good prediction right now because there's just not enough information. Mattresses. I just said mattresses randomly, but a mattresses ad popped up. But Yeah, I actually would not be able to make a good prediction on that right now. If I had to, if they said, "Oh, you have to gamble right now," I think, hmm, I think I'd put it on Evil Geniuses. I think they'd clutch out and win it in the grand finals against like TL or yeah, something like that. I mean, C9 also looks super good. 100 Thieves. I just don't believe in 100 Thieves. I don't. I know the team's already won LCS before, but I just have a feeling that team is just going to be a semifinals team. I just have a feeling they're just going to lose in semifinals no matter what. I mean, I could be completely wrong and they go to MSI and they actually do well in MSI and all this crazy shit, but I don't know. I don't expect too much from them. I lost some confidence in Lock-in. I know I shouldn't be looking into Lock-in that much, but I don't know. We'll see. We will see how it all plays out. But yeah, I mean, I think that is all I've got today. I'm going to be having at least another one this month, probably later this month, with more modern news because a lot of the stuff was more like late January kind of news that I was trying to talk about in that podcast, but I never actually got to make it because of personal stuff. But yeah. So if you guys actually made it this far, I appreciate you guys for listening. And once again, on social media, you can follow us at Wizard Talk on Twitter, as well as our official organization that this is brought to you by IlluZion Gaming at Gaming Illusion. And you can follow me personally at ILUZ Dave, Illuge Dave. And yeah, I will be posting on at least the Wizard Talk page when we're live for another episode, when another episode's been posted on YouTube and stuff like that. So I will keep you guys updated on there and appreciate any of you guys for listening. I will catch you guys next time. Peace.